So my question is also because how do you even recognize a guru?
My guru, and I met my guru in Nainital, and from the moment we found him living above a sweet shop, as Ganesh should be living above a sweet shop, the door opened and I looked at him and I just came and threw myself on his lap. And I felt at that moment that song of the Beatles, The Long and Winding Road that leads to your door, I just felt.
That got just released?
Oh.
Because Beatles were contemporary at that time, right?
Oh, no, it was
This would have
already
been
out.
70s, yeah.
It was
70s.
already out. But it was
70s.
like, that
Clear.
just summed up how I felt. Like, what a long, winding path it's been to bring me to you. And he sent Jayan out of the room, and then he said to me, my dear, it took you so long to get here, I thought that I was gonna have to come and find you.
Oh my God.
And then he laughed. And then I remembered a really strange thing that had happened just a few weeks before. Before I came to Benares, I had been very, very sick, almost died. I write all these things in my book, A Yoga of Indian Classical Dance, The Yogini's Mirror. And I had been sick, and I was living in an upper floor little room. So my friend said, "Why?" They had just moved into a new apartment. They said, "Why don't you come and stay in my house, our house during the day? We have a cooler." Not even an AC in those days, but they had a cooler, and you need to recover. So I was in their bedroom just resting, and their brother, who was there studying for an exam, came in the room and he said, "There's someone here to see you." And I said, "Who could be, who even knows I'm here?" He said, "Well, there's this holy man at the gate, and he's saying, is there an American woman here?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, "Could you call her?" And I came out, and we invited him in, and we sat there on the veranda, and he looked just like my guru. He had long white hair and a beard, wearing orange dress. And we sat, and it was more like an interview. He just asked me all these questions, and he told me, get this, he said that he was an expert in Indian dance and yoga. And we talked about it, and he also said to me, "What do you think of Sai Baba?" And I said, "He's not my guru." And he was like, he asked me all these questions, so we had this conversation.
Disconnected things: dance, yoga, Sai Baba, and an orange-clad guru.
And we had this conversation for about maybe 45 minutes, 1 hour. I brought him some tea,
Yeah.
and then
Know this.
he left.
The tea it's getting warm.
And that had happened just before I went to
Varanasi.
Varanasi, met my husband, then met my guru. And when my guru said to me, "My dear, what took you so long?" I thought that I was going to have to come and
Yeah.
Find
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
And then he laughed. And then I remembered, oh my God, that was you. And I mean, I could go on all day. I have stories that I met him after he died. I connected with him again after he left his body. So he was very powerful. He was Ganesh. He was the first. He was the remover of the obstacles for all the other gurus I had after that. And all I have to say is I've been really blessed with amazing gurus. And you know, you hear these stories about Westerners coming to India and having some pretty harrowing experiences, either being cheated or so many things can happen. And every time I read anything like that, I think, my God, I've just been so protected. And
It's so
great.
fascinating finding gurus like this. I mean, I would love to have such an experience. Never in my life have I ever, felt meeting someone that, oh, here's the guy, he's the guru. I have never felt that. Met plenty of people. It never ever happens, this connect that, okay, here's this person whom I had to meet. I think it happened with my husband when we got married, that's about all.
So
But beyond that,
when I met my wife for the first time, it was a party, and we danced together all night. And then I told her, "Where have you been all my life?" So that was But these are also life
This isn't
changing
like, I mean, apart from my
Absolutely.
husband.
choices
Yes,
and
absolutely.
partnerships.
Yeah.
There is something with a guru that I was always wishing for, but also, to be honest, afraid of. You know, it's really putting yourself
Yeah, out there.
at the hands of
Yeah.
someone.
I think that's a very natural fear, but I think that's also because of everything that is written, in the sense that it takes a long time to realize that the guru is within.
Maybe if there is a
And the
certain
guru will come in
hidden
different
inhibition,
ways.
you know, somewhere
Every time
in
you
people,
need it
isn't it?
in a
Some kind of an
physical world.
inhibition.
I have my guru in Mysore, who is a Kannada professor, and we work together on all texts. But I was saying, you know, the word guru, right,
Yeah.
in the Hindu tradition, has a spectrum of meanings from this ultimate authority, spiritual, divine embodiment, up to a teacher.
Yes.
And for me, he's about 76. We work together, collaborate for 15 years, writing translations together, having discussions. It's a connection. And sometimes I feel that the needle on this spectrum is shifting. We don't talk about it too much. But for me, on the inside, it moves to that appreciation, that deep appreciation, and that wish, right, to thank for the knowledge that you are giving me.
But isn't that being a mentor then? I mean, like, it's like I would say yes.
But why should we think of it
I don't know. I mean,
as
there's
Either
other
or.
than, either or? I mean, if we don't put a definition on it, we'll be able to
That's what I'm
accept
saying.
it.
So maybe there's some
And
inhibition
actually
inside,
speaking,
you know. That
The sort of highest initiation is when you're not even aware of it.
yes,
You are,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
accept it in a subliminal way. You just accept
you don't
it.
even know that you've accepted
Yes.
it actually, you know.
It's so natural.
Yeah.
But it's such an honorific note to call someone your guru. Like my dance guru, I have my dance guru. My relationship with her is just so incredible. And it goes from the mundane to the spiritual. And there are moments when you just know you're in that. It's like an atmosphere of vibration. You feel your vibrations going up because what you're talking about is a particular thing, but then it goes into the universal. And when you feel it switching into the universal, that's when the idea of the guru comes. Oh, but the guru's within you. So it's the receptivity within you that creates the relationship where you can say guru. And you know, I've
That's
had that
exactly-
experience with,
that's what I'm saying.
Shukdev Singh, with whom I sat and translated Vivek Sar. We had such high experiences together. And we knew when we were in that. Mark Tchaikovsky.
Yes, yes.
I mean, on the back of his motorcycle,
Yeah.
riding through Godolia, and he's like talking Sri Vidya over his shoulder, and I'm trying to catch it. I mean, and yet I'm in this timeless moment,
Yes.
and I used to think, oh my God, it's like, okay, this is the contemporary world. We're flying through Benares on a motorcycle, and he's like talking these mind-blowing concepts to me that I can barely, I wish I had my notebook so I can be
Yes.
taking notes, but it's the same thing that happened when in ancient times the guru sat with the chelas like this.
Yes, yes.
That's the beauty of
Yes.
it, really.
And I can totally relate with you about Mark experience, you know. You meet Mark, if he is in a good form, his eyes will rise up, his eyes will look at a distance, and he would go on a flow, you know, that flows which comes from decades and decades of tapasya and experience and scholarship.
It's from somewhere else. I
And
think
he's
somewhere.
from somewhere else.
Yeah.
He has escaped somewhere else. And then you literally have to like mark, you know, and he will be back, you know. So I've had that kind of experiences with Mark also. Okay. So my question is also because how do you even recognize a guru? You know, it's
You won't recognize
You
the
won't
guru. The
recognize.
guru will recognize you.
because in my experience, I have met a lot of people, a lot of advanced sadhakas, you know, and a lot of people have tried to initiate me into their tradition. So Sri
But they
Vidya
will
tradition.
not. The true guru will not.
will not.
No.
No, but you said he will find me and he will take me.
But you're not ready for receiving a guru.
And the guru would know if I'm ready or
Of
not.
course. You're not ready because you're, I mean, he'll have to do it in a much more subtle manner with you because you're resisting the guru.
Yes.
So if you're resisting the guru and somebody comes to you and says, I'm your guru, why would you believe it?
But in the tradition, we have this thing, right? Based on the aspirant, the spiritual quality of aspirant, you raise him up from there, you know.
Yes,
So-
but he has to accept you.
Acha.
He's not going to accept you.
No, absolutely.
I remember, sort of, I think I mentioned it in this essay, but basically, where there were all these yogis, and one of the things that, one of these yogis that I was talking to, and this was in English, the conversation. So we talked about different things. He asked me about different things. And then he said, you'll never have a guru.
He told you.
Yes, learn from everybody you meet. And then 12 years later, when I met him, and so I said, this is a path which is very difficult without a guru. So he said, a guru is only a bridge. When you cross, walk away. Walk away from the guru. And quite surprisingly, because he came from a tradition which was completely, everybody there was, there's lots of devotees that they have, but, initiated disciples, and particularly those who are initiating sannyasis, that's a very strict process. But there was no knowledge that he didn't give me. There was no knowledge. And that's true of another yogi also. And his disciples had objected to the fact that, she doesn't say that, you're her guru. This is the second person. And he said, that's true, I'm not her guru. But neither of them withheld any knowledge. And there is, if you come as a sincere seeker, somebody who knows something is never going to withhold that knowledge.
So there are two things, One is the easy path, the easy path. It is the gurus that I have been to, and they will tell me this whole thing about how much mantra practice to do, what to do, when to do, what kind of worship. And then there is this thing which looking for, sort of like a sudden, like what Ramakrishna did to Vivekananda. He showed him,
But
look,
that
this is what I can do to you.
That everybody wants.
Before, so that sudden descent of grace, which that Shaktipat, that can be done, right, by a guru?
It can be done, but why would it be done? I mean, if you're going to reach it after 14 births, then why should it be?
Yeah, and it's not a big deal. I mean, look, Mark Tchaikovsky told me that he went to see that Bal Yogeshwar, at one big venue somewhere, and there were like hundreds and hundreds of people sitting there, and he swore that everybody there had this incredible experience. He said, I have no idea how he did it, but he said he put the whole place into this state.
Wow.
And it blew Mark's mind. So Mark thought, oh, he's my guru because he made this experience happen. But he wasn't his guru.
Oh.
Really. Lakshman Ju was his guru. But having had that experience, he thought that. But those kinds of experiences are, somehow they can happen, but they're not really the point.
They're not the point.
You may want it. You may feel like fantastic when you have it. But then when it's over, then where are you?
Has it transformed you?
Yeah, you're just at the beginning,
If that transformation has not happened, and it's a slow process, there is no such thing as an instant.
Oh, so there is nothing,
That can
No.
initiate you on
No.
the path.
No.
Sure,
Yes.
sure, sure.
But
Yes.
So, because in the bhakti tradition, so this, when I say the sudden grace that you receive, it is that in that bhakti tradition, you have that moment where suddenly um, you have that vision of God, where, not vision of God, but something happens which breaks away your karmic bonds, which breaks away your samsaric bonds, and which, you know,
You will have to. Uh,
you have to work
you have to
to work for it.
work for it. You know, there's no such thing. You will
And play
return
for
to
it.
it.
Work and play for it.
Yes.
You see how playful Rajiv's path is. It's really very playful.
yes.
Has its hard times too,
Hmm.
but it's all a play, really.
Yes.
I mean, on another level, it's all a drama.
Hmm.
It's, being a dancer, I can always come back to that.
Hmm.
I said, life is a drama where you're playing the leading role and you write the drama, you're the playwright also. And the whole outcome
But
is up
don't
to
take it
you.
seriously. Don't take any of this seriously. The
Yeah.
only thing to be taken seriously, and the only discrimination, the discrimination is not good and evil. Neither of the opposites actually exist. The opposites exist in duality. So, you have to transcend that to recognize that the only discrimination is between the temporal and the eternal. At a moment when the eternal is there, drop everything to serve the eternal.
At the moment when you get a glimpse of
Glimpse
the,
of the eternal. Then don't stop to say, but I have to do this. Because that will take you into lifetimes of reaching there again. So drop everything. Serve it. Then when you come back to complete your karmas, it will be with a new awareness. So then it's not difficult.
so what you're saying is, again, what you're saying is that you have to pay a price, this is not
Oh,
like,
yes.
one sudden moment of transformation,
No.
that's not going to
No.
happen.
It's a very slow process of
And it's basically
recognition.
pay attention.
Pay attention. Always.
Because
Alert
those
awareness.
moments come sometimes when you least expect them. But once you've had some moments like that, you start to recognize it more easily. You
So-
don't question. Like you were talking about the logical mind, like, okay, this thing happened. So then you go, wow, that was amazing. What a synchronicity, right? And then you go, oh, but it happened because of this, this, and this.
Exactly.
Then you're refusing to see that there was that moment where the eternal came, showed you something. But if you can just go with that and have faith in that, and I hate to use the word faith because that
sure.
implies like, oh, you're believing something irrational, but just paying attention to it, more will come, more will happen.
Yeah.
If you don't feed that, it will happen, and like she said, you won't recognize it.
Yeah.
So
Because
recognition is so important.
And one of the important things which used to be there very much in the old traditions, which is getting lost, is when I met various yogis who were extremely extremely evolved, and very often there was more than one. So you're getting to hear that from more than one, the same thing you are hearing.
I didn't get you.
Meaning it's not a one-on-one conversation. There is somebody else also reiterating the same thing.
Okay.
It's not just one, because the main problem becomes for most people who come from a rational mindset is, how do I know that this is what I should believe? So so there's an affirmation because there is a witness to what is being told. So that also, becomes important.
Okay.
So, and
often the teachings that are given anushtanically, what happens is the witness becomes God. So the teaching that is given to somebody is being given already making God the witness.
Okay.
So you're not, because, it's not only thinking that am I taking a guru, the guru is taking on your karmas from lifetime to lifetime.
And does the guru have an ability to cut your karma,
Very rare instances in which they say that it's been done.
But many
Because
people
why would
believe
it
that
be?
it is.
Yes.
Many people believe
But
that.
yeah, but why would it be done? I mean, when somebody is given 16 additional years of life and all that, so it's at that level. I mean, it's at the level of rishis and yogis who come, who return. But you don't know who you are. So it's important to know who you are. And you'll recognize that over time, who you are by who you meet.
You will recognize who you
Who you
are
by the people that you are meeting.
That you attract, really. You attract.
Who are you meeting?
Yeah, who are you attracting in your life?
All my people around me are these great scholars that I'm surrounded by, these phenomenal Sanskrit scholars whom I just look up to them with unbelievable awe. Yeah, oh my God, like Mark, for example, I have regular conversations with him and we get along phenomenally well, for example. Mark is this great sadhaka, and then there's so many other Shaiva Siddhanta scholar who is a Shaiva Siddhanta initiate, then we have Sanskrit scholar in Pune, old scholars, and only old people. I'm just attracted to slightly older.
But look at your path. It's like you're attracted to the people who are integrating those two things, because you've always talked about with us about your logical mind being like you almost feel like it's an obstacle.
I was
and
just
so
gonna
now
use
it's
that
like
word.
you're surrounded by people who are also maybe struggling, but they are succeeding in integrating those oppositions.
Oh,
so
now it makes sense.
Yeah.
One of the things that Adi Shankaracharya taught, and which is probably the only instruction that I received when I was told to teach, was if you teach something, you have had to have experienced it. And it has to, the authoritative scriptures have to corroborate it. If the two are not matching, do not teach it till you have resolved that conflict.
That's a very high bar.
Yes, but that is the only one by which teachings can be given.
Some of today's gurus should have paid attention to that.
But this is Adi Shankaracharyaji's dictum, and this is the only one that I was
No, I totally agree with you also, so that is why when I talk of scholar practitioners, it's sort of that, But of course, you're saying at another level, the practitioners should also be a realized practitioner, or sort of a...
no, well, the practitioner, you have to have experienced something to be able to teach it.
Sure.
So, if you're being taught an invocation, if the person teaching you knows the mantras, knows everything that's written in the rituals, but they don't know how to invoke, it hasn't passed on to you, because knowledge is transmitted. In the Guru Shishya Parampara, that knowledge is transmitted, and it's coming from the source. Because it's not possible to receive. It's like literally the source is so high powered that, and everybody is just bulbs. So somebody is a 100-watt bulb and somebody is 1,000-watt bulb. You'll fuse out to receive that energy. So it is, diluted to reach. That's all.
That is why Sri Krishna had to give a divine eye to Arjuna to see his form.
But mind you, everybody there were yogis of great stature. So let's not underestimate any of the people who were spoken about over there.
Where?
at, during the Mahabharata.
Oh,
I mean, like
right,
say,
right,
if you consider Ashwatthama,
Yes.
then he is the Ved Vyas of the next Mahayuga, and he is going to be among the Saptrishis in the next Manvantar. So, who are we talking about? You know, the Saptrishis are responsible for taking consciousness from age to age. So, I mean, what level are we talking about? So, these are not ordinary people. When Sri Krishna descends, all the yogis descend with him.
Okay.
So, they were all yogis of, I mean, exceptional stature.